Golf Central on YouTube is brought to you by the Paradigm AI Smoke Woods and Irons from Callaway.
So much of what we pay attention to on this network revolves around the professional game, but as we know, there is much more to golf. You play it, you love it, you book it, buy it, travel for it, wear it, you live it. According to the National Golf Foundation, 45 million Americans over the age of 6 played golf either on a course or off course at entertainment venues like Topgolf in 2023. Maybe most importantly, 3.4 million of those picking up clubs for the very first time. With that, pleased to be joined by one of the leading experts. He just spoke at the Harvard Business School. He's able to give us a broader perspective on what's happening and where it is all headed. Will McIntosh, president of NBC Sports Next, with Golf Now and Golf Pass under your direction. Will, thanks for being with us. I'm going to start with not a curveball, but a good old-fashioned knuckleball. Your grandfather was?
Hoyt Wilhelm. I'm actually named after him. Famous knuckleball pitcher, Hall of Fame baseball player, great grandfather, was also a golfer. Interesting story, and just was a fan of golf, and it's fortunate to be able to say that he was my grandfather.
Playing wiffle ball in the backyard back in Allentown, PA, a lot of us were Hoyt Wilhelm with that knuckleball. As a knuckleballer, you could start late as he did after having served in World War II. 30 years old when he got started and was able to pitch until he was 50. So we know you love sports, and you're a big thinker where this game is concerned. You're also a data gatherer. What data points related to the growth of the game that we just referenced would blow me away, Will?
Yeah, well, Rich, there's a lot of good ones to point to, and in part I'd give credit to our partners at the National Golf Foundation for some of this, but fastest growing sport in America in the last 5 years.
Faster even than pickleball?
Faster even than pickleball. Though there are some pickleball people out there that might dispute that fact. We do believe golf's the fastest growing. 6 consecutive years of growth for golfers that are playing golf at a golf course. If you look at 2023, you had 45 million people in America pick up a golf club and play some form of golf. And there's an important distinction there. I know we'll talk more about it as the conversation goes on.
So the story that data is telling us is what? What's the story?
Golf is in an incredible place from a business and industry perspective. Probably the best it's been in the 22 years that I've professionally been looking at the business of golf.
All right. So I think we all know by now that there was a COVID bump. People were pent up. There was, this great desire to get outside and be able to do something. That gave the sport a boost. How has golf been able to sustain that momentum? Yeah,
what's amazing is if you look at rounds played last year, which is a stat that's important to the industry, was just over 530 million. That was 20% more than 2019. So, the last full year before, COVID hit in the United States. And so I think that tells you a lot, because here we sit now, years removed from the worst part of the pandemic, and the numbers just keep getting better. So I think, there's a lot of reason why that momentum was created, and now we're seeing that it does look to be sustainable.
And what factors are driving this sustainability?
Yeah, for one, I think, we talked about it before. I used that 45 million golfer number. There are all these new alternative forms of golf. And I think the industry has become much more inclusive around how it thinks about what a golfer is and what counts as, golf participation.
You're talking about Topgolf.
You've got Rory McIlroy's an investor in a business called Puttery. Tiger Woods and TaylorMade are investors in a business called PopStroke. Our partners at Troon Golf have a indoor golf simulator concept with the golf simulator company GolfZon. So there's a lot of investment going into the idea of combining golf and leisure entertainment into a different experience.
Any numbers that suggest that some of the people who are going to Topgolf to have a beer and knock it around with their buddies are paying $75 a year later to go play their local municipal course?
I think one of the most fascinating statistics is we know that if a non-golfer enters the game via Topgolf or a platform like that, they are 5 times more likely to ultimately find their way to a golf course, which just kind of shows you that it is leading to the creation of new golfers.
How have some of the challenges that we had heard about in the past price point, the cost of equipment, cost just to play the game. How are some of those challenges being addressed?
Yeah, I think we're certainly we run businesses with an emphasis towards making golf as affordable and as accessible as we possibly can make it. I do think there's a stigma out there that it's too expensive and maybe too difficult, but I actually don't think the data supports that when you look at all the different ways and options that consumers have today to have a golf experience, and then you look at like just something that's near and dear to us is we've helped via Golf Now, we've helped raise over $3 million over the last 4 years for an organization called Youth on Course, whose stated mission is to get kids out on the golf course who may not otherwise have had the financial means to do so.
Right, you guys have subsidized, I read, over 400,000 rounds.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
That's a big number.
We get credit for it, but it's a testament to the users of Golf Now, the golfers out there that are rounding up, their spend with Golf Now, and that money goes directly to Youth on Course for obviously what is a great cause.
Yeah, it's a good program. Golf overbuilt in the early 2000s. There was a reckoning around 2008, 2009. A lot of golf courses returned to Mother Earth. COVID hits, people play. So now there's demand, a lot of demand. How is the marketplace handling that demand in terms of inventory and maybe more importantly in terms of pricing?
Yeah, it's interesting. It's a completely different dynamic than what it used to be if you go back 10 years ago, and it brings with it its own set of unique challenges. Like I know a lot of our golf course operator partners are, they want to continue to help grow the game. But when you look at the basic tenets of economics and supply and demand, there has been pricing pressure on generally available tee times. But I think overall, I look at the challenges that the industry has today. It's in a much better place than it has ever been, and I think via our relationship with golf courses and the golfer, we're doing our part to help make sure, as we've talked about, that momentum is sustained moving forward.
What's new on the technological side, and how is it changing consumer behavior in the space?
Yeah, I mean, one of the interesting things that happened during the pandemic is because of the nature of what was going on in America, there was a proliferation and adoption of technology by all kinds of small and medium-sized businesses, but golf courses included. We played a big part in that because people had to book tee times online if they wanted to go to the golf course and play, because there wasn't the ability to call somebody in the pro shop necessarily or walk in the pro shop, especially in the early days of the pandemic. So there was a very accelerated adoption of the concept of booking tee times online. And then what we've done since then is, the way I look at it is our role to remove as much friction as possible for the golfer from the time they're thinking about going to play golf until they get to the golf course to play. And so we've made a massive investment in the technological operating system that a golf course uses to run their business to help consumers have the kind of experience that you have if you use the Starbucks mobile app to buy your coffee and whatever your breakfast might be.
What do they want now? What excites the consumer?
Yeah, I think it's being able to book the tee time online, to check in and pay and not have to stand in line at a pro shop, to be able to be on the golf course and use their iPhone to make an order and have food and beverage delivered to them on the course versus waiting for the cart beverage person to come around.
Used to be that golf course difficulty was the thing. Like, oh, it's one of the hardest golf courses you'll ever play. My sense is that that's changed. Where are people now with respect to their golf experience? And I understand, it's different for different people, but generally speaking, what are you hearing from your operators and from the consumers as to what they want with golf courses?
Yeah, I think that our golf course operator partners have done a great job of embracing new people to the game, making it easier for them to enjoy this game that, you and I have had the fortune of playing for a long time. So I think obviously there's been improvements in the equipment that's used to play golf, but I really think the golf course, partner ecosystem is hyper-focused on making sure that these new customers that they're fortunate to they're fortunate to have at their facility, they're doing a great job of making sure the experience is top notch so that they want to come back.